Well, welcome Wednesday to all you on the Central Coast. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us right here on Living the Run. Thanks for committing this hour, 6 to 7 o'clock, to your health and fitness. Great show, as always. I'm your host, Rex Stevens. Olympian Paul Tarek off tonight. Got several guests, though, at a big time show tonight. We will recap what we'd been pushing since January 1st. That would be the Slow Marathon took place this last week. We got Wildflower coming up. Scott Collifer, he's been on the show before, sponsored by Power Bar, triathlete. He and another special guest coming in studio in just a little bit. We'll talk Wildflower. That is going to be wild. The course has changed dramatically, folks, partly because of what you see out there today. We got a lot of sunshine and not much precipitation over the last couple of years, and that course for the first time is, I think, going to make history, having to change that swim, and we'll talk to Scott and Taylor about that. They got a kind of a goofy setup there, but it'll be fun. It'll be a good memory for all. We also going to talk a little bit about the beer mile. The unofficial, official world record may have just been set in the beer mile. If you haven't seen that, we'll talk that. We'll discuss that, kind of bang out some of the physiology around that one. Pretty fun stuff. First time if you ever joined us on this show, again, we meet every night, Wednesday night, 6 to 7 p.m. right here on ESPN 1280, The Ticket. You can follow us on Facebook.com/Living the Run to pick up any of these podcasts. Each and every week, guys, we are committed to living the run, living through better health and fitness, living through better lifestyles. Let me set this up right here because, as you know, you guys know Alex Klepper well, right here on ESPN Radio. We started back in January 1st, getting Alex on the right train, the train that was moving towards better health rather than away from health. That was going to prevent disease rather than react towards diseases that come down the line from just that lifestyle that beats us up. But I gotta start this one a little bit differently than we ever have done with Alex. First off, I've got to give props to the guys that I've been training with. My partner, Sandy Sachs, ran very, very well. Inline Warehouses, good friend of mine, Corey Miller, again, ran very, very well. No excuses for him. He put up a good time despite chest congestion. That guy is just an animal. Nate Jones, phenomenal stuff. Had a quad injury the week before, came out, ran a very, very fast time, low 130s. The Irishman, and I'll talk about the Irishman a little bit later when we talk about our blood boiler today. He and I went out in that heat and had a good time at Madonna Mountain. But the Irishman, Keith Sweeney, put up a 1:30.09 on his birthday, which is a very, very, very good time. And kind of a guy that we love to push us in our group, Chad Thule. I want to throw it out to him. 1:27, very fast. And these guys are getting ready for Ojai to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So thanks to you guys for putting it out there. But here's how it works, Alex, is that I've been running with these guys for a long time. We do some different things. We meet at the track every Wednesday up at Cal Poly. We try to do some other workouts around the house with 2-3 of us, sometimes all 6 of us kind of get together. But regularly, and it's a rarity if this doesn't happen, I'm last. Always. I bring up the backside of that group. I have no problem doing it. These guys all look good from the backside, so I'm okay with it. But this is a good group, and I regularly kind of am in the cellar. But here's the thing: I got a 6.5-year-old boy and a 5-year-old boy at home, big time into hockey, big time into sports, and as they're kind of learning about this sports thing, it's about winning and losing. Always is. So the question I get every time: Dad, did you lose again?
I see where you're going with this.
Dad, why are you the slowest? Dad, are you ever going to be the fastest? And this is just regular. I mean, this is on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. And so it's just one of those things I have to kind of try. Guys, it's not all about winning. It's about participating with your best effort.
Is there that soap opera noise in the background, the soft music? Dad, are you ever going to win?
Where's Max Woodcock when we need him? We need exactly, Max back in studio. But you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. You and I had kind of discussed this idea that we might be competing. Mm-hmm. You had even secretly hoped just a few minutes ago that I, who was running late, may not show up so we could tell potentially a different story.
Mm-hmm. Plant the seed.
But whose backside were you looking at
Unfortunately,
in this race
yeah.
at the slow half marathon?
Unfortunately, I was looking at a couple hundred more backsides than I would be wanting to. You beat me. You beat me by a good margin.
Fair and square.
Fair and square. Fair and square. I'm already making preparations for next year. Calling up my guys. You know, we're gonna get our little group together. Maybe we'll go to Cuesta Track and we'll start doing our death runs every Wednesday.
Yeah, don't try to rain on our parade over there. You know, don't try to pick up any tips from the guys.
You guys are the innovators, and we're gonna take it up a level. You know, we're gonna start our own little crew, and you know. But no, it was a great. I loved it. I mean, I struggled through some parts of it. The first few miles, I'm gonna confess right now, I maybe should not have had a burrito on Saturday because my stomach was giving me a little bit of troubles the first few miles. And but I mean, it was just phenomenal to be out there. Great weather. It was just like getting back in that spirit of everyone, you know, being with a bunch of people who were doing the same thing as you, whether it be, you know, a group sport like playing soccer, playing, you know, on a team, playing against another team, playing basketball, whatever. You know, I did a lot of 5Ks growing up when I do with my mom, and just that atmosphere of getting there at 6 o'clock in the morning and having all those people there ready to run and just encouraging each other. It was it's the type of thing where people are like, oh, hey, what are you shooting for? Oh, what are you know, this is my first one. I'm a freshman at Cal Poly, whatever. And just talking to people doing that and just getting excited and everyone's rooting you on and whatever. I just thought it was great to be out there and do my first one finally. And now, even though I didn't do as well as I had originally hoped, I'm already excited for next year because I already have ideas like, okay, this time I'm going to do this. I'm going to start earlier, whatever. And
brilliant blend of competition with participation.
Exactly.
It's such a nice complementary deal, which you don't always see on the playing field of sports. Mm-hmm. Talk about this. You know, you're a novice runner, as is all of us. None of us are pros here. Going for the majority of the people out there are not pros. Your time that you thought that you were going to run was quite a bit faster than what you did run.
Yeah.
Where do you think the blunder was in the training that kind of distorted your view of what you thought was possible out of the body?
Yeah, and so, you know, we had this 12, pretty much a 12-week running program, and I was following that pretty well. And I would say week 9, if I would have done it the weekend of week 9, I would have done, 145, 150. For whatever reason, it's almost like my body peaked there. And I felt like the runs afterwards were not quite as good. And, you know, I did kind of jokingly blame a burrito, but my stomach, I've had stomach issues for the past couple of years for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of my diet, but it cropped up that morning. And I'm just like, I knew like, oh, like I'm hoping.
Were those not the butterflies from the anxiety about the competition between you and I?
It could have been.
The stress between you and I.
Right when I saw you, right before we saw each other, right before the gun went off, and my stomach just clamped together. It was like a vice grip just went around my stomach.
Immediate indigestion, inability to assimilate energy anymore.
Yeah.
But how about this? I mean, so many people, and they talk about, I even talked to Joe Thorne, congrats to Joe Thorne and his wife, Kara, male and female winner of the half marathon. Fun athletes to watch. Joe's on a pro card now on the triathlon. He'll be at Wildflower this weekend too. And he said, he goes, it's a tough course. It's a lot of rollers. Mm-hmm. It's rarely flat. You've got some pretty good inclines. Did you feel you prepared enough for the inclines that were going to be set before you?
I actually do. I think the inclines were not the rough part for me. I was actually gaining some steam on the inclines because for whatever reason, my running path where my usual, training route, there was a lot of incline. I mean, it's pretty hard to find places that aren't incline unless you're just doing a track in St. Louis. So I was doing a lot of incline, and that was good. I think one of the things I'm going to do next time is I felt like maybe I did a little bit too much of interval training, and I did, I would do 2 miles, and then I would walk for 30 seconds. And then I would do another mile and a half, 2 miles, and I would walk for 30 seconds. And I feel like, and I was working up towards, just straight running. And I never got to that point I mean, I got to that point at week 9, and like I said, for whatever reason, I hit my peak there. And this time, I want to make sure that doesn't happen again, because I felt like that incline or the interval training was, for whatever reason, it still was there this past Sunday, where it was like, okay, we're ready to stop, now for a few seconds, and then,
And no question, that the maturation of your body's physiology isn't there. Interval training, obviously a great thing to do, but your body still adapting to the process. Fun process, man, with you. What's next? You got to keep this fitness thing going.
For sure.
Maybe we have the chance. I just saw Bobby walk into studio. We rarely see Bobby. It's a possibility that we can work this guy in the next year to come participate.
It's possible.
It's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
But, stranger things have happened.
We'll see.
One of the things I wanted to comment on was I heard a lot of times people suggested who were watching, they said, gosh, there was a lot of people out there that seemed like they shouldn't have been out there. Exactly the opposite. The people that seemed like, and what they were suggesting was people that weren't fit. It's a great, great place to start.
Yeah.
It's a great place to walk it. It's a great place to be in that energy, to get that kind of kickstart like you've gotten, to get going. What's next for you the rest of the year?
It's almost like, so this happened and I was, deflated a little bit. And because I am uber competitive. Like,
because I lose. I've lost every race since January 1st.
I know.
And every time I go out, I lose, and I got to win.
And then when you set it up by saying, the whole like, Daddy, are you ever going to win? I just knew you're going to pound it on me there. But so I'm still a little steamed that I didn't do as well as I wanted to. So I'm going to hit it hard. I mean, I'm going to continue going on. I sent you a text saying, I'm proud of myself, or, I'm going to get back on it, but today, tri-tip and fries. That's going to be a brief period. And I'm, I would definitely want to keep up this running schedule. And, I don't know what other half marathons, whatever, are around the area.
At least you're committed to doing next year's slow half marathon.
Exactly. And right now, marathon isn't in the picture, but half marathon next year, much faster. That is my goal. Definitely work towards that. I will not get 2:08 again. I will get
sub 2.
Oh, for sure. If I get sub 2, I'll be mad. If I'm going for 145, or I'm going for sub 145. So that is my goal. And just keep that running track up, and
I'm hoping you can get close enough to smell me next year.
I smelled you when you were passing. when we crossed paths, you were doing the back way and I was doing the front way. But it was fun, and this really got the juices going, especially for another run at it. So
thanks for doing it, Alex. We appreciate it right here on Living the Run, guys. We got Scott and crew next. Coming up to talk Wildflower this weekend. Oh, the course sounds interesting. You're going to want to hear what they do with it. All that and more right here, Living the Run, ESPN 1280, The Ticket.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280, The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Hey everyone, Eric Fiallo here from LeftLaneSports.com. Are you tired of paying full retail on your favorite outdoor and endurance brands? Well, whether you run, bike, swim, hike, climb, or surf, LeftLaneSports.com has got you covered. Save 50 to 70% off retail every day on brands like Under Armour, Asics, New Balance, Timex, Hurley, Patagonia, and more. Visit LeftLaneSports.com and sign up for a free membership. Plus, save on shipping by picking up your order at our headquarters in San Luis Obispo. LeftLaneSports.com. Gear you need, prices you want, service you deserve.
Hey, this is Tara Kulikoff, San Luis Obispo resident. Gardens by Gabriel is hands down my top pick for landscapers in San Luis Obispo County. Gardens by Gabriel is honest, knowledgeable, passionate, and detail-oriented. The owner, Gabriel Frank, is a true botanical zealot. He's able to add his own creative ideas while respecting my needs and working with the ecosystem that I live in. His crew is phenomenal. Their passion truly transformed my beautiful front yard. Dig them at gardensbygabriel.com.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
Did you know that many people endure aches and pains in their feet, legs, and back, but few recognize the solution for some of the more common causes are as simple as a more supportive and comfortable insole? At Cadence Insoles, we understand the insole in your shoe provides the first line of support and comfort for your feet. Designed by physical therapists and recommended by podiatrists, Cadence insoles provide the elusive combination of orthotic support with the shock-absorbing comfort of an insole. A local business? Visit cadenceinsoles.com for more information. Cadence Insoles. Support made comfortable.
We're back with Living the Run.
Hey, welcome back to Living the Run. Hey, great show tonight, guys. As always, we're 6 to 7 o'clock every Wednesday night right here on ESPN 1280 The Ticket, bringing you health and fitness. Don't forget, we're going to talk Beer Mile in about 15 to 20 minutes. It's the unofficial, I think, world record. You guys see this at all? It's good stuff. In studio right now, we're going to talk some Wildflower, guys. Wildflower this weekend, it seems like the races are abundant. We've had Boston Marathon. We had SLO Marathon. We know a bunch participated in Big Sur. Wildflower right around the corner. Joe Thorne just took first place in the men's half marathon this last week at SLO, knowing that he had Wildflower coming up this weekend. So he didn't want to go the full. So he just went out and ran something like a 1:12. The guy's a beast out there for sure. But stoked to have Scott Collifer back in studio. He brought in national champion 2014 Taylor Spivey. Gosh, that's kind of a good sound, right? National champion.
Yeah, it sounds great.
You gotta like that. You kind of, hey, Taylor Spivey, national champion. It's just got to ring so darn true to you, and for all the hard work, for all the efforts. Talk about the race a little bit. Talk about when you started to sense that this was possible in the race to be crowned national champion.
Well, I come from a swimming background. I swim at Cal Poly. So I just finished up swimming this year, and I went into the race knowing that I had a strong swim. So I knew from then on I had to power through the bike and give it everything I got on the run. So I hung in there, and I didn't get caught the whole run.
So you went wire to wire in the lead?
Yeah, the whole race.
Pretty rare, right? I mean, that's not a normal thing in these triathlons. I've always thought, from my understanding, I've been out at Kona, a few times. The guys coming out of the water, and obviously it's a little longer distance, so the swim's a little bit different. But you've got so much jostling going on between people on bike, coming out of the water, and then of course on the run, you got a lot of stuff going on. Still rare in the distance that you guys are doing to go wire to wire?
Yeah, it's pretty rare. I'm fortunate to have the lead at the beginning. It's just a matter of holding on to it throughout the race.
So you must like that. They talk about different, and we talked about this last week when we talked about the Boston Marathon. Meb had gone way out in front, but almost always somebody who goes out in front gets caught by the pack. Oftentimes certain people say, hey, I don't really like to be out front for a lot of it. I'd rather kind of be back and then make my push towards the end. You like being out in front? I guess with results like that, you got to like being out in front.
Yeah, I mean, I like being out in front because I'm a swimmer, so I know that in the swim, I have to kind of charge it because the rest I'm kind of trying not to get caught, essentially.
It's almost like the going back to hunter-gatherer days or something, just trying to outrun the lion.
Yeah.
Like, just don't let him get me. Scott coming in studio too. You know, both you guys sponsored by Power Bar, and a big group of sponsors I know for all of you. Talk about your race there. It sounds like you did a little individual, but as well as some team competition. Cal Poly did pretty darn well, at least in one of the groups, if you will. Explain it to the listeners.
Yeah, so I mean, I did an Olympic distance race, which was Saturday. Taylor raced on Friday, and that was the ITU style draft legal race. Saturday was the non-drafting Olympic distance race. Didn't have the best day, we'd say, but still hung on to like a top 20 finish. So I was excited about that and excited with my effort, and that if I just go away knowing I had a good solid race, put it all out there, I should be happy. But then, yeah, we did a mixed team relay later that afternoon, and it was composed of 2 guys and 2 girls, and they each do pretty much like a third of a sprint triathlon. So about a 300-meter swim, a 5K bike, and then less than a mile run. And the way it starts is Taylor started out for us, and she got us about like a 20-second lead, and then tagged it off to me, and I got caught. I blew it, but
well, you talk about that for you too. I mean, I think this is an interesting thing. You know, a lot of people, there's such a difference in strategy, and it has to do with mindset.
Yeah.
You know, if you will, going into these things. Do you like coming more from behind, or do you like taking that lead early and trying to sustain that lead?
Yeah, well, I'm not quite the swimmer Taylor's, although I did have a faster split than her at nationals. I'm stoked on that. But there's some really fast guys, and the guy that I got caught by was NC2A swimmer for Cal, Greg Harper. He, closed the gap 15 seconds or so for a 300-meter swim, which is quite a lot. And but I mean, for me and my racing style, I'm more of a cycling forte, and so I come out of the water in that lead pack, kind of behind the big group, or in the big group, I should say. And I try to make my way through the field on the bike, and then try to hold on the run, which is really difficult to do sometimes.
But the mental, we talked about that a little bit, and I actually talked to quite a few participants from the slow marathon, half marathon, and there's definitely a mental change to you being the one who's passing people, picking them off on the bike, to then being picked off on the run. So I think probably a little bit less in the swim, right? Because sometimes maybe you don't have a total sense of who's right next to you. Some of those open water swims a little bit broader spectrum, and the vision maybe not as good. But cycling and running for sure, it's like somebody blows by you. There's a big mental aspect to it. Got to be more fun on the bike picking people off, right?
Oh yeah, whistle here and there while you're going by them. Pretty easy. No, the hard thing is you get some really strong cyclists just blow by you, and the only thing you got to think in your head is like, all right, they're gonna blow up on the run. They have to. I mean, they can't be going that hard. I mean, unless they're in really good shape, But it's just really interesting to see how people work in races with their different tactics and racing styles.
Okay, so here you are, you guys coming out. You're coming out. We've given up the lead a little bit. We got 2 more people still going.
Yeah, so I was still first out of the water. I got caught, but he was right behind me. We worked together on the bike, and pretty much on the run, I was about 5 seconds down or so at the finish. So I handed off to our next female, who is also a Cal Poly swimmer.
Hey, let me take you back to this. So
yeah.
Scott Collifer, Taylor Spivey, in national champion Taylor Spivey. I'm going to say it every time. I like that. Explain what you were just saying. We work together on the bike. For the average listener driving home right now, what does that mean? Pretty obvious. We're working together. We play basketball. We play soccer. We're turning a double play. The more what does it mean to work together on a bike in that?
Yeah. So the mixed team relay was a draft legal style racing. So you're allowed to draft, and pretty much we were taking turns at the front, about 30-second turns, blocking the wind, just producing a draft, letting each other rest. Something that the non-drafting triathletes don't get to experience. And so we were doing that because we were ahead of a field of like 5 or 6 people that were about a minute down, maybe a little less. And so we were trying to sustain that, but still save our energy for that mad dash at the run. And so we were doing that, and then handed it off to the girl, and she had a great swim, great bike, hung in there on the run. Unfortunately, I got a penalty during the during the start of the
This guy's killing us.
I know, right?
I mean,
Maybe we could have gotten first.
yeah, maybe you guys get first rather than the finish. He slows you up on the first leg of the swim. He's getting penalized. So what does penalty mean? You got a minute in the box? It's,
10 seconds.
10
10
seconds.
It's such a short race. If it were longer, the penalty would have been longer.
It would have been more damaging.
Yeah.
And then for sure, we would have been a little angrier.
Definitely.
Yeah. As teammates, we would have been really questioning our choice.
Exactly.
Was Scott our guy? All right, finish.
I wasn't. Apparently. Blew it. But we served the penalty, and our third girl, hung on there. The third girl from Cal, who was the team that ended up winning, kind of gapped her a little bit. We served that penalty, and then our third guy, our final guy, our second guy, entered the water maybe like 10 seconds ahead of this group of like 6 people. And he is not known for his swimming, and he had the swim of his life. Like, crazy swim, held on to the position, worked together with a super strong cyclist on the bike again. And
well, he saw it all unfold. He saw that you had kind of not
it.
held up to the standard and that he needed to exceed his standard and help the team out, right? Yeah, team first.
Totally. And they worked together, and he outran him, and we got second place.
It's
We were
phenomenal.
stoked,
Hey, talk just real quick before we take a break, and then I want to come back. We got to talk this Wildflower course because it just sounds crazy what they're doing up there. Speaking of swimming, there's no water. And so I heard they've moved the swim, and what's going on there is very interesting. But just talk a little bit, national champion Taylor Spivey, Scott Cullifer in. You guys, you're training individually, but you're also doing this team thing. How fun is the team thing?
Oh, it's so much fun. It definitely adds like a different aspect to these races because you train with these people all the time, but then when the race comes, you're racing alone. So it kind of gives you the opportunity to race and cheer with these people that you're with training all the time.
So
the year.
you guys Rochambeau to see who goes first group versus last. I mean, was it strategic for you? Or was it a little bit more of a guessing game to say, hey, I'll take out the first swim, let us two go first, and then you two go next? Because you're not doing this most of the season, right? You don't have a lot of experience doing these team things. How'd you guys decide who goes first and fourth?
It was pretty strategic. We wanted to go out with a lead, and then
Which you being the best swimmer is the obvious.
Yeah. So we wanted to be in the lead at the beginning because drafting was an element, and with that lead, that would maintain a better position to draft faster people on the bike, essentially.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
It was probably hard finding a place to put Scott, wasn't it?
Very hard. Where do we put the guy that's going to get the penalty?
Second worked out.
Second worked out. That's the best answer we had.
That's all I
Guys,
gotta
stick with us right here on Living the Run. We're going to talk Wildflower course. Hey, let me tell you this. It is a big, big deal to have all of you that came out. Thanks to all of you that came out and supported everybody at the slow marathon, the slow half marathon. Do the same thing at Wildflower. I tell you, the energy there is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And it comes from those fans coming to support. So, guys, get out there, camp, enjoy it, watch some competitive athletes, but support those athletes and give them encouragement. It's amazing what that can do to get them to take one more step to spin that bike just a little bit faster and complete those goals. So we're going to talk Wildflower course, so that is big stuff. Don't forget, we will not leave this show tonight without talking about the official beer mile record. Stick with us.
You're listening to Living the Ride on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your hair cut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff put your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Hey everyone, Eric Fiallo here from LeftLaneSports.com. Are you tired of paying full retail on your favorite outdoor and endurance brands? Well, whether you run, bike, swim, hike, climb, or surf, LeftLaneSports.com has got you covered. Save 50 to 70% off retail every day on brands like Under Armour, Asics, New Balance, Timex, Hurley, Patagonia, and more. Visit LeftLaneSports.com and sign up for a free membership. Plus, save on shipping by picking up your order at our headquarters in San Luis Obispo. LeftLaneSports.com. Gear you need, prices you want, service you deserve.
Hey everybody, Tara Kulikoff, San Luis Obispo resident, here to speak on behalf of Gardens by Gabriel and my experience. As a landscaper in the county, they are hands down my top pick. They're honest, knowledgeable, passionate, and detail-oriented. The owner, Gabriel Frank, is a true botanical zealot who adds his own creative ideas while respecting my needs and working with the ecosystem. His crew is phenomenal. They are so helpful and so hardworking. My front yard is absolutely perfect. So dig them at gardensbygabriel.com.
We're back with Living the Run.
Hey, welcome back to Living the Run. Fun show. Don't forget Dodgers coming on right here on ESPN 1280 The Ticket after the show. Don't forget the CJ Silas show is still on, just not on Wednesday nights anymore, 6 o'clock on Thursday nights. So don't forget to listen to the CJ Silas show tomorrow night. That's Thursday night at 6 o'clock. In studio with Triathletes and sponsored by Power Bar, Scott Collifer and national champion Taylor Spivey. Guys took second place for Cal Poly as well. Nice job as a team. And, during the break, Taylor, you were kind enough to say it wasn't Scott's fault on the penalty, not as big of a deal. You would take him again as a teammate.
Of course
next time you had to do it. Hey, let's talk Wildflower. Wildflower this weekend. If you don't know about it, you got to come out to it. Go participate up there. But, hey, a lot of heat today, and the reality is this area over the last couple of years, sun shines every day, pretty minimal rain. And for our lakes, this is a bit troubling. Wildflower swim up at Lake Nacimiento. You got to make the swim, and apparently there is no water or not enough water where they normally do that swim. That course is changing. Scott, you're competing in it. What are they doing with that swim, and what's it going to do to the racers?
Yeah, so they're moving the swim about 2 miles south towards the dam, where I guess it drops off and there's more water there. There was water there in November, and it barely rained over the wintertime, and we're going to be swimming there, and apparently it's super dark, super murky, and we're going to be swimming in that location, running or taking off our wetsuits, putting running shoes on actually, and we're going to be running 2 miles up the road to the normal transition area. So just like how it normally is now. And so we do the normal bike course, come back, and then we do an abbreviated 4-mile run.
So is the idea to have you're going to have to set up 2 transition posts for the run. I mean, you're going to take the shoes that you're going to run in then again later, leave them where the cycling is. So you put them on after the swim, go up to the cycling, leave those same shoes, or we bring in different shoes, different clothes. I mean, how is this going to work?
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. I'm gonna bring two. I'm gonna bring two shoes. I'm gonna run the first segment of my trainers and just put speed laces on those too, so I can get in and out of them pretty quick. I'm gonna run in those, and so I don't have muddy, wet shoes come, that 4-mile run off the bike. And I'll be wearing my racing flats. Hopefully, mentally, it's like, running in these heavy trainer shoes first 2 miles, get off the bike, running on these super fast racing flats. It'll feel great.
You gonna change the strategy at all when it comes to, putting together your workouts? Where oftentimes, you're always going swim, bike, run. Now you're gonna go swim, run, bike, run. Change it all, or probably not?
Race strategy wise, or
no, just even the training wise. I mean, I know you guys put those bricks together where you try to put two things together, and it's like, hey, what does it feel like when I come out of a hard swim into my run or into my bike? Sorry, you're never doing it right where you're going, hey, I'm going hard swim immediately into hard run. I mean, because it's not what you're doing in races, is it?
I actually haven't done any specific training for that. Just gonna go on a whim and.
Yeah, I mean, because
happens.
isn't that it? I mean, you guys as triathletes, you're looking at it and saying, hey, what do the legs do after I've been on the bike, for X amount of time? How can I get them to convert nicely and adapt well into the running style, get my legs under me and get my stride going? It's a different animal.
Yeah, this last weekend I actually did a reverse try, and I had not prepared for it properly. So I'd never done a run to bike before. And it definitely took some getting used to. My legs weren't used to it, so.
Yeah, I got to think this is going to be an interesting adaptation. And, the same thing then is going for the relays up there, right? So you got a swimmer coming out of the – and this should be a little bit easier. That being said, though, your runner is going to run 2 miles of the relay, then sit, wait for the cyclist to come back, and then have to start up again.
Yeah, and it's going to be rough for the half Ironman distance. I mean, they're running those 2 miles. People, I mean, that's a tough course on the bike. They're going to be out there for like 3 hours or so. So you run 2-mile warm-up, got to hang around for 3 hours, and then go out and run 11. And it's a tough 11, too.
Yeah, and it's not a 2-mile warm-up. That's a 2-mile blazing.
Yeah.
Because you got to have your pace. And, in fact, you're probably going to run quite a bit faster than your normal pace of a half marathon, like you said on that. Strategies have changed immensely on this. I'm super curious about what's to go on out there, and that's exactly what I thought. I saw a girl this morning in the clinic that is going to be doing exactly that. She's going to try to run a very, very fast 2 miles. Then she's got to sit back, try to stay warm while her teammate goes on that cycling, and then now she's got 11 miles, to go afterwards. See what kind of pace she can keep up and maintain.
Yeah, totally.
Different mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, tell me about what's the competition up there? How many Cal Poly groups up there? I know they split it up. You got some professionals that are going to be up there. You got the collegiates up there, and then of course you just got average participants coming in. And what's the competition look like this year? Usually a pretty deep field, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty similar to, I'd say, conference up at Lake Lopez, March Triathlon Series. A lot of the same guys are going to be there. Generally a pretty deep field. Going to expect nothing but the best from them. And as far, same with the female side, it's going to be pretty deep, and we'll just see how it goes. We're sending a lot of people up there. It's our biggest race for Cal Poly Triathlon team, and hopefully we'll just have a good crack at it and come away.
Not that deep, because national champion Taylor Spivey will not be in it this weekend, will you? Coach is pulling back the reins on you?
Yeah, I won't be in this race. I've done it once before, but unfortunately I won't be competing this weekend.
Hey, guys, before we go, fun to have you in studio. Thanks for coming in. What do you think, Scott? The heat has come the last couple of days. I know that Wildflower can get hot.
Yeah.
Good for you?
I'm a little guy, not a huge 6 foot swimmer or anything like that, converted triathlete. So I can manage the heat pretty well. That being said, I know the temperature is gonna, cool itself down come Sunday, which will benefit everyone. And, depending on the conditions, I mean, I've prepared in my training. I've dressed warm this last month and trained to sweat and just trained to cope with the heat. And so hopefully it pays off, and I'm expecting hopefully a good performance.
Biggest nutrition change that you make if the heat is roaring?
Yeah, that's a good question. If I wake up and it's hot outside, I'm going to really start hydrating early. As soon as I wake up, start hydrating, using more nutrition, more calories on the bike. Power Bar has some great power gels that I like to put in my water bottle. I'm a little too sensitive to take the gels in, just from experience, my stomach, and so I like to mix that in with the water bottle, get some calories, get some electrolytes. So I'll probably add a couple more of those in there, and taking some extra water on the bike at the aid stations.
Yeah, I would suggest not following our novice half marathoner Alex Klepper, who was in here before and eating a carne asada burrito the night before. Not the most brilliant thing to do prior to one of these races. Hey, that's good advice. It's good stuff. I think a lot of people don't understand the concept of having to go through these things in workouts, having to try different stuff. Mm-hmm. Be willing to try, be willing to fail in it, and say, oh, didn't work out too well, cramped up a little bit, lost energy, what have you. But good stuff. Thanks, guys, for coming in, and good luck in future endeavors. Good luck this weekend, man.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Scott Collifer, Taylor Spivey, national champion. Taylor Spivey, Cal Poly athletes, phenomenal athletes, and good people pushing forward. Thanks for coming in, guys. Hey, don't forget, guys, we got 10 minutes left in the show. We are going to hit the blood boiler for today, tips and takeaways, and the official beer mile record that just took place. That and more right here on ESPN 1280, The Ticket.
You're listening to Living the Ride on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Hey everyone, Eric Fiallo here from LeftLaneSports.com. Are you tired of paying full retail on your favorite outdoor and endurance brands? Well, whether you run, bike, swim, hike, climb, or surf, LeftLaneSports.com has got you covered. Save 50 to 70% off retail every day on brands like Under Armour, Asics, New Balance, Timex, Hurley, Patagonia, and more. Visit LeftLaneSports.com and sign up for a free membership. Plus, save on shipping by picking up your order at our headquarters in San Luis Obispo. LeftLaneSports.com. Gear you need, prices you want, service you deserve.
Hey, this is Tara Kulikoff, San Luis Obispo resident. Gardens by Gabriel is hands down my top pick for landscapers in San Luis Obispo County. Gardens by Gabriel is honest, knowledgeable, passionate, and detail-oriented. The owner, Gabriel Frank, is a true botanical zealot. He's able to add his own creative ideas while respecting my needs and working with the ecosystem that I live in. His crew is phenomenal. Their passion truly transformed my beautiful front yard. Dig them at gardensbygabriel.com.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
Did you know that many people endure aches and pains in their feet, legs, and back, but few recognize the solution for some of the more common causes are as simple as a more supportive and comfortable insole? At Cadence Insoles, we understand the insole in your shoe provides the first line of support and comfort for your feet. Designed by physical therapists and recommended by podiatrists, Cadence Insoles provide the elusive combination of orthotic support with the shock-absorbing comfort of an insole. A local business? Visit cadenceinsoles.com for more information. Cadence Insoles, support made comfortable.
We're back with Living the Run.
Wow. You kidding me? Just got a text message that said, Carne asada tacos. Sitting at home, just awaiting. A good wife. That's a good message. I'm happy to have her support. And she knows Wednesdays are tough. We get out there, and I didn't get my eat on as well as I would have liked. Got lots of fluids coming back, and that is because the Blood Boiler was big, guys. Blood Boiler brought to you each and every week by Arts. Check them out at artcycler.com or go over there to Suburban Road. So over there yesterday talking to Scott Smith. Man, Scott is a wealth of knowledge. If you want to get fitted properly on a bike, if you want to know everything there is to know about bikes, check those guys out over at Arts. They wealth of information, and they just flat out love sharing it. Love those guys at Art Cycler. But here's the Blood Boiler today, guys. And here's the thing, we talked about earlier. I run with these guys, and, it's okay coming in last place because I tell you, they push me, and I get the blood to boil, and I enjoy myself every single time out. And I thought I had a chance today. We left the office at 1:15. I know it was probably peak heat. And I was kind of strategizing that because I was out with Keith Sweeney. He's a native Irish guy, and straight out of Dublin. Not really used to the heat, The sunshine, as he says, is a little bit of his vice. And so I thought I was going to be able to take him running from our office on California there to Madonna, up to the top of Madonna and back. And Keith kicked my butt. He was up that hill and doing what he does. And so it was inspiring to me. A lot of fun. The blood definitely boiled. Guys, the heat was out there. And, I got to say, I was coming over today to the studio, and Johnson was a lot more desolate today than it had been in the past. Each time I'd been coming up Johnson, crescendoing over the last 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. It seemed like more and more participants running that hill, getting prepared for the slow half marathon, the slow marathon part of the course. And the slow marathon's done, guys, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be out there still running, and don't let that heat get you. If the heat does get you, be smart with it. Go in the morning, go in the evening, but we had a lot of fun out there, 1:15 to 2:30 or so, hitting up that 7.5 miles. No break, guys, up on Madonna Mountain. Let me tell you, there's no shade. There's no escaping that sun. It beat down, and it definitely gave us a beat down, but it was good stuff. Don't forget, right here on ESPN 1280 The Ticket, after Living the Run, you got the LA Dodgers coming on. 10 o'clock, 10 to midnight, we stay local, and we get the Slow Late Show. Bobby Goodsby running the show there, talking everything sports, giving you some recaps and some insights that you wouldn't otherwise hear. Bobby Goodsby getting it done as usual. And don't forget, guys, too, the CJ Silas Show has moved but has not left. Right here on ESPN 1280. The Ticket, CJ Silas bring you your show 6 to 7 o'clock on Thursday evenings. Hey, so we got to talk the beer mile. Something that I had never been exposed to. Still haven't seen it in person, but I've seen it on the computer, and I was ultimately impressed. Now, our last guest, national champion Taylor Spivey, Scott Collifer. Scott inferenced that he's seen this and potentially participated in this, but that the speed at which those doing it that he's seen or witnessed is nowhere near the speed of this guy. You can YouTube him. The fastest unofficial official world record in the beer mile. Here's how it goes. Kind of an interesting deal. They set it up much like you would set up, I liken it a little bit to a relay race. You've got this area where you can hand off the baton, and if you don't get the baton successfully handed off there, you're disqualified from the race. And so this is kind of a new spin on it. This guy had his beer table set up, and then his distance is zoned off, and that was the distance at which he was allowed to open the beer can, guzzle the beer can, throw the beer can away, and then start back into his stride for that next 400. He started with the 4 beers on the table. He went with the Budweiser. I believe he said Budweiser, light beer. And he starts it off, and I tell you, the best part about this thing is the support of this guy's wife. You know, I said, I love my wife. I'm so thankful because my stomach is rumbling here from that Madonna Mountain run today. I'm going home to some plates of carne asadas. I know my boys have ravaged through them, and I can't wait to eat. But here is this woman with the stopwatch and the video, just absolutely motivating her husband and cheering him on throughout this deal. And if you get nothing less from watching this video, and I'll post it on our Facebook.com/LivingTheRun, you got to clap your hands for the support of this woman. But he starts off, and he starts with a beer. And so the idea is that all 4 beers will have been consumed by the time he hits that 4th lap. Now, again, this is not the best idea, and it's not the number one thing we're promoting here on Living the Run. We're talking health and fitness. We're talking hydration. We're talking electrolytes. This is not the thing to do, but I tell you, it is so impressive how fast he goes. He hits all 4 beers, which leaves him with 1 lap to go, and I believe his wife calls out 3:54 on the time. Now get this, 3 laps. He's gone at 1,200 meters, 1,200 yards maybe, out on the track. He's consumed 4 beers at the 3:54 mark, and his goal is to get sub 5 minutes. Just sitting in your car right now, just ask yourself, how many of you can run sub 5 minutes with no beers? Everything's prepped. You've warmed up. You've done everything properly. You're hydrated. Running sub 5 minutes, no easy feat. This guy's got 4 beers in him. He's at 3:54, and he's got to get under a 1:06, a 66-second last lap, which is very fast. The guy runs a 62 or a 63. It's absolutely flat-out remarkable. Comes in at 4:57 on the beer mile. Let me tell you, I don't encourage you to go do this, but I do encourage you to watch it to just say how impressive that is. All that gas, to be breathing that hard, to be able to get the fluid down that quickly is remarkable stuff. You know, there's a few people I think that would have liked to or have felt like they would have liked to have done things a little differently. I got passed on the train tracks by a guy. He went flying by me, but he didn't look good. I caught up to him about probably 2 minutes later, and he was over on the side vomiting. You know, Scott hit on right in the head. You got to play with some of this stuff. You can't just go into these races not having thought about your nutrition, thought about your hydration. Always important things. Great show. I want to say thanks again to my guest, Alex Klepper. Nice job, Alex, in your first half marathon. Way to push me, way to push yourself, way to make some change. To Scott Collifer, good luck this weekend at Wildflower. And to national champion Taylor Spivey, thanks for joining us on Living the Run. Congrats on your great year. Folks, join us each and every week on Wednesday nights here on Living the Run. The Dodgers are next. Live healthy, folks. Live bold. Come, live the run.